and you have not went to school or worked or done anything or chose a wife or chose the name of your children or came here tonight for a foolish purpose, how could you assign to God something less than yourselves? In an attempt to capture and convince the imagination and faculties of reasoning, the Quran goes through great length and beauty to expound upon the oceans and rivers, the trees and plants, the birds and insects, the wild and domestic animals, the mountains, the valleys, the expansion of the heavens, the celestial bodies and the universe, the fishes and the aquatic life, the human anatomy and biology, the human civilization and history, the description of paradise and hell, the evolution of the human embryo, the mission of all the prophets and messengers, the purpose of life on earth. And how could a man born in a desert, a man that's illiterate and couldn't read, how could a man born in the desert and could not read and watching sheep, how could he expound upon things that he was never exposed to? The most unique aspect of the Quran, however, is that it serves to confirm all the previous revealed scriptures, and that if you should decide to become a Muslim, you do not have to consider yourself changing your religion. You are not changing your religion. If you gained weight and you had a suit and you really liked that suit, you don't have to throw the suit away, do you? No. Go to the tailor and tell him, listen, put a little bit of, add a little bit of material in there because I like this suit. Just make it a little bit bigger for me. If you lost some weight, you wouldn't throw that $500 suit away. Of course you wouldn't. You'd take it to a tailor and say, listen, take this in a little bit for me, please. Make some alterations because I like this suit. Well, your belief, your honor, your virtue, your love of Jesus Christ, your attachment to God, your worship, your truthfulness, and your dedication to Almighty God, you don't change that and throw it away. You hold on to that, but you make alterations where you know that the truth has been revealed to you. That's all. Then you just have to be honest enough to know that you have lost some weight and you need to make some adjustments. Islam is simple, my brothers. Bear witness that there is none to be worshipped except Almighty God. If I asked any of you to bear witness that your father is your father, how many of you would say, yes, my father is my father? My son is my son. My wife is my wife. I am who I am. Then how is it that you hesitate to bear witness that Almighty God is one and Almighty God is the only and Almighty God is your Lord and your Creator? Why? Are you arrogant? Are you vainglorious? Do you possess something that God doesn't possess? Do you have some secret that you want to share with us? Or are you confused? That's a question you have to ask yourself. If you thought that you would die tonight, and that in front of you was paradise and in back of you was hellfire, and you had the chance to put things straight with your conscience, and to put things straight with God, and to ask God to accept the best of your deeds, if you had the chance to do that before you died, and you thought that you would die tonight, you would not hesitate to bear witness that there's only one God. You would not hesitate to bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God and representative of all the prophets. You would not hesitate to bear witness that you are one of those who would like to be written down in the book of God as those who submit. You would not hesitate, but you think you're going to live a little while. You want to enjoy some things. You want to drink a little bit more scotch. You want to lay down with a few more girls. You want to wear a few more fancy suits. You want to dance a little bit more. You want to sing a little bit more. You want to hang out a little bit more. And of course, you're not ready to pray every day. That's because you think you're going to live a while. But how much is a while? I see some of you, like me, is becoming bald. How much is a little while? How long ago was it when you had a full head of hair? Some of you get gray, I see. How long ago was it when it was all black? You got aches and pains in your knees and your elbows and other places. How long ago was it when you was just a child running and playing without a care? How long ago was it? It was yesterday. Yes. And you're going to die tomorrow. So how long do you want to wait? Islam is to bear witness that Almighty God is God, the only one without any partners. Islam is to acknowledge the existence of the angels who were sent with the duty of revealing the revelation to the prophets, carrying the message to the prophets, controlling the winds and the mountains and the oceans, and taking the life of those who God has ordered to die. Acknowledging that all the prophets and messengers of Almighty God were righteous men, and they were all sent by Almighty God, acknowledging the fact that there will be a final day of judgment for all creatures, acknowledging that all good and evil has been proportioned by Almighty God, acknowledging that there will definitely be a resurrection after death. The fundamental duties incumbent upon every Muslim is simple. 5 things. Islam is like a big house, and every house has to be built with pillars and a foundation. Pillars and a foundation. And you have to build a house with rules. The pillars are the rules. And when you build your house, you must follow the rules. The 5 rules of Islam is 1, to uphold the code of strict monotheism, not to accept any partners with God, not to worship anything along with God, not to say anything about God that you have no right to say, not to say he has a father, a son, a daughter, a mother, an uncle, an aunt, a board of trustees, or anybody he has to ask or to say anything about God that you have no right to say. To bear witness. And you sentence yourself. You take the sentence that you want. You sentence yourself to peace and paradise, or you sentence yourself to confusion, frustration, and hellfire and punishment. You sentence yourself. You ask yourself, do I bear witness that there is only one God? And if you ask yourself that question, you say, yes, I bear witness. Do I witness that if Muhammad is who has been explained, that he is a messenger of Almighty God? Yes, I do bear witness. If you bear witness to that, then all of you and all of us are Muslims. Muslims. And you don't have to change what you were. You just have to make alterations in what you were, in your thinking and practice. In finality, brothers, I ask you an honest and direct question. How many of you understood what I said to you? How many of you? Just raise your hand that you understood. How many understood? How many of you disagree with what I said? About God, about Muhammad, about the creation of life. How many disagree essentially with what I said? Okay, all of those who agree with what I said, raise your hand. Say, I bear witness that there is only one God. I bear witness that there is only one God. And I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Ameen. 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 Okay. May Allah bless us. May Allah help us. May Allah guide us. And I would say to all of you brothers that you were very honest, you were very patient, but don't leave this gathering like a plate of food and just leave it. No. Take this plate of food tonight. When we take our break, you sit down with a Muslim and let him explain a little further to you the prescription of Islam. Take the next step. That is, wash your hands before you eat. Wash yourself before formally becoming a Muslim. Accept Islam. Know about Islam. Practice Islam and enjoy the bounties that Allah has bestowed upon you, because faith is not something you can take for granted. If you don't put it into practice, you lose it like a fragrance. May Allah guide us. May Allah help us. And I appreciate the honor of being able to make a presentation to you tonight. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.